like I said at the start of the stream, I've been dealing with a little bit of a creative slump, in part triggered by how the song last week wasn't bad. It just went poorly. And I think part of that was because I was just like not feeling well. I was kind of like listening to the stream a couple days after the stream, and I was just like, I just was not in the right headspace to like make music. And that causes problems when you're, you know, live on camera and forced to make a song in 2 hours. So, and that's just how it goes. Like sometimes, you're not feeling it. But I think that because of that, because the stream wasn't good and the song was kind of mediocre, like I really fell off the wagon for that. Like I really just like lost all of my motivation. And I was really worried about this stream because of that, where I was just like, and it's like that whole imposter syndrome thing where it's just like, oh no, am I over? Am I done now? Was that the last song I ever made that was decent?
Remember
and it's like,
to
no,
save.
obviously not. Mess around with miniatures later. Yeah, that would be cool. I see you've been doing a lot of miniature work lately, and that's really neat. My cousin did a lot of that too. I don't know if he still does, but it's like really cool, intricate work. But I was really worried about this one because not only I was like trying to get back on a positive mindset, which is not easy to do sometimes, but I also interviewed Brian Funk from the Music Production Podcast, and that's coming out tomorrow. And I wanted to have a good, because I sent him like the playlist for the 2-hour track challenge and all that other stuff, and I wanted to have a good showpiece to like have front and center with that, where it's just like, yeah, I've been doing this for 5.5 years or 6 years or whatever, and it's just like the first one that comes out is just like, and it's just like, well, no, that's not a good thing. But I think that this is a really good, not necessarily a centerpiece, but a good showcase of what this stream really is. And if you did come from the Music Production Podcast, hello. Thank you so much for showing up and checking this out. I'm talking to YouTube. Sorry, Twitch. But I think that it's just slumps are really awful, but I notice they do pass with a little perseverance. Yes, and that's the thing. Like I mentioned this before, but it's just like I get overconfident. And when I get overconfident, I start taking risks. And when those risks pay off, that's amazing. But when they don't pay off, like it really screws you over very quickly. And it's very, very easy to like take those risks and think that you're doing a great job, and then all of a sudden you just like kind of lose it, you know. I'm gonna take this thing off too. I'm just trying to find a good loop point here. I think this is a good loop point. But yeah, like I really struggle with that. Okay, that's a good looped version of this song. So I get overconfident, and like this whole make a song with whatever random drum loop I choose, or whatever drum loop is randomly given to me, like that worked really well for 3 songs. And then last week I tried it and it gave me this really, really dumb dubstep loop. And I'm just like, well, this is what I gotta do. And it's like, well, no, you don't have to do that. You can just choose your own samples. Like it's cool to have a limitation, and it's cool to have that kind of structure to your challenges. But if it's at the detriment of the actual end result, you shouldn't do it. It's really good to be able to flex your creative muscles and like be in a situation and figure your way out of it. But if you're in a situation and you don't know how to escape, then you just need to pull the ripcord and you need to try something else. And I just kept doubling down on this idea that I didn't necessarily like. And it just like, it didn't sit right with me. And that just kind of caused this big cascade of just creative ennui where I just like, I don't want to do anything anymore. And we're in the midst of like the OST jam. We're trying to, we're doing a game jam thing, and it's just like, I just stopped all production on the game jam. I just didn't have motivation to do anything. And like, that sucks, but you know, creative slumps are just something that happens sometimes. And I just, you know, you have to power through them, for better or worse. So, and thankfully this is something that I've learned over time through doing these challenges, where it's just like, if I overextend myself and something goes bad, I know that it's going to be kind of a blow to my ego, and it's going to take me a little while to recover. But thankfully, if I am aware of this and I kind of go into the next challenge with those perceptions in mind, I'm able to, persevere through it. And usually I go a little gentler on myself. Like this time I was just like, we'll choose a drum loop randomly once we kind of get a structure for the song. And I think that was a good compromise, because it allowed me to find the tone of the song and then kind of shoehorn the drum loop into it. And I think it worked really well overall. But yeah, it can be really dangerous. It could also be really awesome. Like there's been times where, you know, I do a 2-hour track challenge and it goes awesome and amazing, and you're just like super energized for the rest of the week because you have this like really cool thing that you did, and you listen to it over and over, and it's like, man, how did this happen? This is so cool. And like, it's a little addicting, and you want to keep chasing that good feeling. But it comes with that risk where it's like, if you try something and you screw it up, and you screw it up bad enough, you're just like, oh no, and then you just like crash on it, and it's just it's rough, and it's hard to talk about too. It's like, it's a very ephemeral feeling for me, and I'm sure a lot of other creators. And only through doing this for so many years have I kind of gotten a grasp as to how it works and how it like functions. And I think that, you know, it's important to, my timer's still going down. I think that it's important to be aware of this stuff, especially if you're working as, like on a commission basis, or working like through, like creative stuff and creative challenges like this. Like, not, there's a saying that some of my D&D friends say, and it's, not everybody makes it to level 2. And I think that that's very apt, where it's just like, you know, sometimes it just wasn't meant to be. And you have to realize that sometimes songs just aren't meant to be in the way that you envision them. And you have to learn to kind of let that go. My buddy Shaka Panda always says to get the fail out, to just make a lot of things, and eventually all of the bad stuff kind of gets put out there, and then you have time to focus on the good stuff more. And I think for some cases, the 2-hour track challenge is kind of getting the bad stuff out. But I don't know. Like, I really like how this song came out. It was a ton of fun. And I'm really happy that I was able to sit here and share that with all of you. There's a little cut here. I don't think that it's going to be a problem, but I just want to make sure. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. I'll re-render that. So yeah, like and like, part of the whole reason why I love doing this challenge is because it allows me to stream every week and see everybody and hang out with them. And now I'm just rambling. We can probably just end the stream. I'm really happy that I was able to sit down with you guys and like make something and converse and talk and have fun. Learn to abandon your babies. It makes sense to drop a project when it's no longer doing it for you. Yes. So I want to put an addendum on that real quick. There is a threshold Well, Madam Barry, you missed some high quality pontificating. Um, I'll play the song for you, Madam Barry. I'm kind of in a talky mood right now. Um, Husk, I think that there is a threshold in which you still should finish a project. Um, yeah, I'm rendering it right now. I'll play it for you just so we can chill out. But really, like, if you're not feeling a project, you either need to put it aside or abandon it. Correct. But I do think that why is the tempo 59.57? I didn't notice that before. That's messed up. Um, like if you're 90% done with something and you're not feeling it, then yeah, set it aside for a little bit and come back to it later. But like if you're 20% into a project and you're just like, man, this kind of sucks, then yeah, for sure, abandon it. And yeah, I think that it's valuable to know when to pull the ripcord, to cut and run, or to abandon your babies, or whatever you want to call it. Because there are definitely times in projects where you're just like, you start it, you have a great idea, and then when you start like getting into it, you realize like, oh, this isn't good, or this isn't fun. Like I've done that with game development thing before, where like I made like the structure of the game and I started playing, and it's like, this isn't fun to play. So it's like I could like continue to like finish the game because I have to do it because I started the project and I have to finish it because that's how creative people work. Or it's just like, no, just put it off to the side. Maybe you'll get inspiration for it later, but most likely it'll just kind of sit and molder in your bin, and you know that's how it goes. So yeah, like you definitely need to learn when to kind of drop something. I think that that's really really important.